welcome to another episode of the Top 4 podcast. Now, you probably knew this already, but if you don't, we're called the Top 4 podcast because we are the top 4 players in our FIFA team. Arguably, I say arguably, I think two people here are definitely in the top 2, and then, myself and maybe someone else, and maybe not as good. But also, the top 4 in football is the Champions League, and it just seemed to work well. And to be honest with you, that seems to be the most exciting part of the league at the moment, with 3 or 4 games left to go. Relegation looks fairly certain. Not going to talk too much because depending when this episode goes out, whatever we say on relegation could be done. And the league, City look like they've got it wrapped up. But the race for 3rd and 4th is very exciting. Featuring Liverpool. So Nate's obviously going to have some strong opinions. And a few teams that have been surprise packages of the years. So yeah, I mean, we've sort of done our predictions throughout the whole year on who we think is going to get it. Mine's definitely different to what I said at the beginning of the year, but I think it'll be interesting just to look at the fixtures coming up. Who we think is going to pop, who do we think is going to get those last 2 spaces?
I mean, Leicester the weekend, is that the start of a bottling?
They've been bottling it for a while, I think.
I mean, I think winning, really. That Newcastle result, there was right, panic buttons at the ready. Do you know what I mean? I did not see that coming.
I was shocked. I was in the pub and I couldn't believe it.
Joe Willock's been doing bits for him, though, hasn't he?
At the moment, yeah, saving them from relegation.
He's been Arsenal's best player this year, and he's not even fucking playing for him.
Because Newcastle are 14th now.
Yep.
And that's wild. Anyway, back to top 4. But yeah, Leicester, I mean, they've got a couple of tough games as well to see the season out. Tottenham being the least difficult, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think they could get 3 points there. But I mean, I honestly want them seeing the top 4, and I think they've been in all of my top 4 predictions throughout this since we started doing it. So it'd be sad to see them fall out of it, to be honest. But I don't know.
I think obviously they dropped off last year after COVID. Well documented. Still an amazing year for them though. Got 5th. To get 5th again this year, if you said at the beginning of the season, would still be amazing. I don't want people to shit on how good a job Brendan Rodgers is doing there.
Yeah.
But it is going to be. It's one of those things where if they drop off again this year, then he's got big decisions to make. He's going to have to change that squad because that squad will start. That will become like a normal thing, I think.
It's Brendan Rodgers' normal thing, though, isn't it? He's he does sort of
tapers off, yeah, at the end of the season.
Very true.
So maybe it's a trait that comes through the manager. I'm not sure. I think what is big. Have they not got FA Cup final as well?
Yeah, they have.
So
what's more important?
They're definitely going to be. Well, I think most clubs at these days would say top 4 is just because of the money that comes with it.
I know, but
money.
But Leicester have never. It's not like you're as a United fan, you can say that, but
yeah, but
as a Leicester fan, it's
still the businesses at the end of the day. But yeah, you're right.
I think it's still a massive trophy, isn't it?
Yeah,
second biggest in England.
I think they're going to do it. I reckon they're going to beat United this week because we're going to field a weak team, just because of the amount of games we got. And I think they're going to beat Spurs at the last game of the season, and I think that'll get them across the line. And I think Liverpool will probably drop points here and there.
So I reckon if we beat Liverpool on Thursday, I think that could, again, panic buttons. I think that could be it for them. Because they're like, what, 6 points behind now? 6 points behind Leicester.
Yeah, I think we're not going to talk about United this episode, but they arguably have a bigger role in the top 4 than any other team.
Yeah, just because of who we're playing.
Because of who you've got. I think depending on the team that they play tomorrow or whenever today.
Ollie did mention this. I know we don't want to. We're not going to United at all, but Ollie did say somebody's not going to be happy because of our fixture list. We're playing 4 games. Yeah, 3 games in 4 days.
But he's not resting for Liverpool. He's not resting Liverpool.
No, he's not. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's what Pat's saying, that Leicester could do us tomorrow because of the team we feel.
We got Leicester on Tuesday, Liverpool Thursday, and he's going to rest, I think, a lot of players against Leicester. and he's going to go strong against Liverpool. And you ask United fans, drop points to Leicester, beat Liverpool, they go, yeah, take that all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I agree. I think Leicester will do it, even though they've had this slip. I think they could get a draw. I think they. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not even sure they're going to get a draw tomorrow. Or they're not going to get a draw against United, and then I feel like Chelsea have bigger priorities by then. But again, they're chasing top 4. But even then, I think one win by Leicester might be enough. I'm saying that, and I'm wondering if I've actually said an absolute howler because I've not double checked the points. But my thinking behind that is that Liverpool got to play United, and then they would have.
Leicester
Oh,
got
no, they've
63.
captured them, they?
Yeah,
Leicester
Leicester
got
could have got
63.
63. Yeah, Leicester on 63, Liverpool on 57.
And Liverpool got game in hand.
Yeah, so
So
we
if-
got 4 games. Like we could potentially get 12 points up there.
Yeah.
Obviously, bring us up to 69. And I think Leicester could lose all 3 of those games where they've been playing.
Do you know the reason I don't think they're going to flop it this year? I think it's in the form of Iheanacho. He's been in form for some time now, and he just looks like if you give him half a chance, he'll bag it in front of the goal. I know against Newcastle, I think that was more sort of midfield defensive issues. But I think Iheanacho might score a couple of big goals. I think he will on Tuesday against us.
I think you could draw. I think you might draw United, beat Spurs. That's 4 points, 67 points. I mean, I think that could be enough.
Yeah, it could be.
Because, Liverpool, you look at the running, obviously United, depending on the team, always a tough game. You're playing already relegated West Brom and then potentially already safe Burnley. Or they might, and then you've got Crystal Palace who are just probably going to be on the holidays by then. But they've been so poor this year, Liverpool, against those teams. So you think they'd steamroll through those sort of teams before, and I just it's hard to see. I mean, what are your thoughts, Nave?
I think we're picking up a bit of form again now. So I don't know, with teams like that, we should really be beating. Man United, obviously, hardest game. But I think we've gone through that dip now. We're coming back up, smelling the roses again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can potentially save top 4, and I think that's all they're hungry for at the moment, especially being out of like all competitions. So, yeah.
So you think you get 9 points, or do you reckon you get a result against United?
Yeah, fuck it. We're going to beat them. Could be the worst clip ever when this comes back to back.
So you reckon you get 4 wins and then that's it?
4 wins, and then we end up on 69 points,
Which will probably be enough.
It's a strong number.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting because I didn't realise this when I was looking at the fixtures. Leicester have got Chelsea in the FA Cup this weekend and then Chelsea again literally the Tuesday after. So maybe Leicester's going to rest some players against us midweek as well. So it could just be a scrappy sort of mixed up B team on both sides, to be honest.
Yeah, it's tough. It's almost like Leicester and Chelsea have got, they've got like 5. Well, Chelsea have got 5 cup finals. Leicester have got 4 cup finals till the end of the season now. But obviously Chelsea have got 2 finals, and then the 3 games they've got to be up for, and then Leicester have got to be up for their 3 games, and they got their own cup final. And I'm wondering.
Chelsea's squads are so good. I don't think they're not even going to struggle with the sort of rotation. They're a bit like City now these days, where the bench is pretty much almost as good as the first starting team. So I think they're going to be all right.
One team we haven't talked about, West Ham. Yeah, obviously got a bad result against Everton, but they're still 5th as of right now, and they have arguably the easiest run-in with Brighton, West Brom, and Southampton.
I reckon they got a better chance than Liverpool. I do.
I agree.
Only because
I
think Liverpool are going to lose against United. They'll beat West Brom, but Burnley away is smelly. Like that's a smelly. That's got 0-0 or something just awful game going to Burnley. And Palace at home, and Palace, they're inconsistent, but they can bring it out of the bag when they want to against the big teams. So my money would be on West Ham making it before Liverpool. And that's not me as a United fan. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible.
It sounds like you as a United fan, to be honest. I'll bet you a tenner, bro. I say Liverpool finish by West Ham.
Ted's face when he said it.
We don't condone betting, but also we've got it recorded, so that's on.
It's a friendly wager. It's fine.
It is. Yeah, I just think West Ham have got the better run out of the two.
West Ham seem to crumble a bit though. When they just feel the heat or when they have a lead,
that's how I think
they do crumble a bit. You just sort of hope they could just be like, look, even if you don't get top 4, European football is good anyway. Especially.
I hope they get it though. That's the thing, because you worry that another team who are in the race, but only because they won against West Ham, Everton. They won that and they got a game in hand like Liverpool, and it's like they win that game in hand, they're right in with a shout as well.
They beat West Ham, was it? This weekend just gone, wasn't it?
Huge.
Yeah. I don't think anyone would have expected these 6 teams to be fighting for 3rd and 4th.
No, you've got to give props to Everton and West Ham, really, haven't you? They've done it, especially West Ham. I think Lingard's form dipped off a little bit, but I think it's been in line with the whole team of West Ham. So hopefully if they can get him firing again. Souček's been a bit quiet as well lately.
Yeah, second half of the season, I say second half, later than that. But yeah, the past 2 months or so, he's been real quiet.
You think they'll be able to pick it up a bit?
What I will say is I don't think, definitely West Ham, they've had an amazing season. Hopefully they get at least Europa League. Everton have had a good season, but I almost felt, I remember at the beginning of the season going to the pub, social distance with Pash, watched them play Tottenham. Wasn't the best game, but I was thinking that like they could do something this year. And I always feel like they've gone off the boil a bit in the middle of the season. But they've got Villa, which Villa have sort of, again, gone off the boil a little bit. They're playing Sheffield United, Wolves, who have been mediocre. And then, last game of the season, they're playing already league champions, potentially resting for the Champions League, Man City. And you look at that and you think they could win all 4 of those games.
They won't beat City. Like, even with City's B team, I think City's B team's way stronger than Everton's A team.
I think Grealish is going to be on the bench as well in the next match. I think there's talk about him coming back. He's just lacking match fitness, so he could maybe be seen as a sub coming on. But City, the type of team that they've got the title and they'll just spank you just for the sake of it, just because they're the title winners now and they want to prove a point.
Yeah, but this is the first time they're in the Champions League final.
Yeah, true. You're going to rest players, but Everton, they're hot and cold, aren't they? They just Richarlison's just.
I'm just trying to make it interesting for the listeners, guys. I'm trying to pick up all the teams just to say they've all got a chance.
They definitely have, apart from Spurs.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only one we haven't spoke about is Spurs.
Fuck Spurs.
It's Spurs. you're so butthurt that they got rid of Jose. It's unreal. You look at him about to cry.
Don't mention it,
honestly, I'm not even bothered. But
is that a tear?
The reason why I haven't mentioned them is because I do think they have the least amount of chance out of all of them, especially after Everton's win. Everton got that game in hand.
Only a point behind them now, yeah.
The best
they're one of the furthest away with the least games to play. So
yeah, I think Tottenham are out of it. And
even just on that basis.
If they win every game, they will be on 65 points.
I think if they get Europa League, they've done well.
I almost feel, and I think this, it might be. I know the money, but it might do good for a club like Tottenham to not bother about the Europa League, and like focus on trying to have a good league season next year.
But when you think about some of the players they got not playing European football,
but I don't think Harry Kane and Son care about the Europa League as that much. I think they care about the Champions League, and I feel like
I think they care about a trophy, and that's another chance to get a trophy.
That's all they want.
Mate, if they won Europa League this season, it would have been one of the biggest things ever for the club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but if you look at the teams that go down from the Champions League into the Europa League later on, I just don't even think Tottenham have got I don't even feel like they have a really good chance of winning it next year.
No.
So
Won't have any chance. It won't have any chance if they don't fucking make it.
It depends what they do in the summer, man. This summer's so important for Spurs in terms of like, there's no front runner who's going to take over. Like, you know, there's word of Conte maybe going, which again, as we said before, I think is a match made in heaven. But there's no, like, it's weird for a team like that to have no real front runner, because like a lot of clubs like that, like, it's kind of obvious who they're going to bring in next. But I mean, this summer is so important for them, because I don't think if they make the wrong decisions, they could have the same or worse season next year, especially if Kane and that goes.
Yeah.
So
and who will they be able to bring in as well? Do you know what I mean, if they do get a new manager, trying to bring in new players, if there's no European football as well, that's a big factor. Same goes for Liverpool. If you're trying to bring in some of the biggest players, say if a Salah goes and you want to replace him with like a Sancho or something like that, if you're not in Champions League football, that's usually one of the highest priorities they require before they go.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If they don't get European football, it's going to make it harder to advertise to get people in for a club of that stature. Like, so I think they have to push for Europa League at best. And I think if they don't, then that's a real disappointment, like really bad. I expect it for a club like Arsenal these days. Do you know what I mean? I expect it and I love it. But Spurs is like, it's weird it is a bit odd though for Arsenal to not even be in the picture. And I think without a couple of players that Arsenal have had, it'd be even worse. Like Smith Rowe has really turned up for him. And I think without him, Saka.
You know it's bad when you don't even think it's that funny, but you just feel bad. Do you know what I mean? You feel bad for the fans. Just because they look like
no. Don't feel sorry for him at all.
They just looks like there's no way out at all. During whether the owners are going to go or not, the team's just comfy.
Fuck Arsenal, man.
Yeah, Pash, you're an Arsenal. You're an Arsenal
AFTV on this clip.
Arsenal sympathiser, and that's
fine. They pushed out Wenger. They thought they were entitled to being league challengers when they were spending any money in the transfer window. They pushed Wenger out, a legend. Look at the difference. I know Ferguson left when they won the league, but look at the difference between when Wenger left and Ferguson. I know that Ferguson won the league in his last season, but the difference between like how he was treated, shocking. Arsenal put all those staff on furlough and then let people go. Sacked the mascot.
Bless him.
And when they won the FA Cup and they thought they were going to do bits this
not
season.
Even that. They got rid of like Emre and appointed an all-right midfielder whose best years was at Everton. And like they just think that they're gonna suddenly because he followed Pep for a couple of years.
Well, I was gonna say,
I'm so happy about it.
He's too busy gargling Guardiola's ball sack.
Exactly. So. Like I'm so happy about it, and I hope they like fall further and further and just stay in mid-table for a few more seasons.
Yeah, be class.
Okay, you are a Spurs man, aren't you?
Unless Mourinho takes over Arsenal, and then I'll get my Arsenal.
Come on, you getters!
Is he from Bristol?
I was gonna say, where the fuck is Bristol? A Somerset boy, like.
I feel like we've given a good fair crack over all those teams.
Except for Spurs.
You know, staying within the theme across all the podcasts. No, I mean we've given a fair evaluation on the games.
I think we've given everyone an opportunity to get top four.
I think we need to predict, the spaces, and I feel like this needs to be the last prediction because there's no prizes for predicting it with 1 or 2 games to go. There's not really any for 3 or 4, but we're going to do it.
We should review our first predictions as well.
We should. I think, we talked, we might do a reward ceremony. We need to do like the biggest howlers, biggest calls from us 4 at the end of the season.
Oh, fuck me.
That's going to take a lot of watching to see who said what at what time. But in terms of the top 4, with 3 or 4 games to go, I think we need to all decide, assuming City win, United come second, who we think are going to get 3rd and 4th. Nath, I'm going to start with you because I think you're struggling.
Yeah, I fucking know my bits, man. My head's just killing me. I'm going to go for, obviously, I reckon Man City will definitely pinch it this season now. Yeah, I think they're going to be number 1.
Fucking hell.
I think. Like,
What a
but,
call.
You're out there. You are.
So you never know. Crazy things have happened. I think United might pull second.
Good.
It's going to be Chelsea in third for me. And I'm always going to go again at Liverpool fourth.
So
This is going to come back and bite me.
based off that, we don't have to go into it, but do you think they have to...
We got to win all next four games.
So, okay. Yeah.
I think that's the way we do it. Like we can't expect other people to drop points. We got to go out there and do the business. So
okay. I'll go next, just so that it doesn't seem like I'm going to go last. Third place for me, definitely going to be Chelsea, I think. And then fourth spot, I was going to say Spurs as a joke, but I can't even keep a straight face. It's going to be Leicester. Leicester are going to do enough, I think.
So it's going to stay as it is for you.
Yeah, it's going to stay really boring how it is.
Nice.
Jack? Yeah.
I reckon United win the title.
They could do. Newcastle going to batter them next game.
Yeah. Nah. I'm going Chelsea and Upper Moisey, West Ham.
Oh, wow. I'm
I like
going City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool.
I knew he was going to say Liverpool. I knew it. I knew he was going to say Liverpool.
What are you so upset for?
So do you think Liverpool are going to beat United in the week?
No, I think it'll be a draw.
That's what I'm saying. Unless they beat United, I don't think they got a hope. They're on 57 points.
Don't try and convince him to change his mind.
What are you upset for, Joe?
Well, he's just sympathising for Arsenal. Now he just loves Liverpool.
Just hate. You meant to be like.
Trying to build that
you meant to be impartial. You meant to be, impartial on this podcast.
That is my non-biased thing. But
Hold your tongue out of United's arse for a second.
Build up
and look at it. It's football. I'm basically crying already.
So basically, me and Jack think Leicester, and then
no, Jack thinks West Ham.
Yes, of course. So I think Leicester. Jack thinks West Ham, and then Pash and Nathan thinks Liverpool. And who's got the wager? Nath, you've put a £10 with Jack that Liverpool will get it.
I said they'll finish above West Ham.
Didn't you say they had to get top four?
No, I just said they'll finish above West Ham. And I said I'll bet my tenner that they'll finish above West Ham.
It sounds like you're copping out of your bet already. They've got to come top four.
Yeah, they probably will come top four. But the bet was that they'll come above West Ham, and he said no, and I said they will. That's what the bet was. It's already been. Listen back to the recording over the years.
Come on, you
Well, listen back. Well, by the time we do the next podcast, I think we'll basically know. Well, we won't know, but I think it's going to be looking very, very certain who is getting top four. And because of that, we won't really talk about it. We've got lots of exciting things to talk about. We've got, obviously, FA Cup final, Europa League final, Champions League final. The Euro's coming up. End of season awards, lots to digest, even though the season's wrapping up. Boys, always a pleasure. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Like us on Facebook now. Got a brand new Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Check us out on TikTok. And yeah, keep sharing. Boys, in a bit.